Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, bonjour, bonsoir, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night. I'm back, and this one is of no great importance, but I think you'll find it interesting. I'm thinking about Roman and Ofelia. We have read from day one that Roman and Ofelia are brother and sister. I'm going to challenge that today. Like I say, it's no big deal, doesn't change anything, but if I'm right, Mail Online that have said from day one Ofelia is the sister of Roman. They got it wrong, so again, we shouldn't assume anything, we should assume Mail Online got that wrong. I'll get to that in just a second. And you may notice that I always write Ofelia with the letter F. Everyone else seems to prefer PH, but just for you to know, PH is pretty rare in Spanish. French is fine with PH, la pharmacie in French, PH. PH is common in English, telephone, elephant, etc., etc. But in Spanish, that PH, doesn't exist. So Ofelia, I go with F, because unless Ofelia really wants to spell it the English way, it would be with an F. Just throwing that out there. All right, let's get to the heart of the matter here. If you're in any doubt about what I'm about to tell you, go to good old Wikipedia, and you type in Spanish naming customs. Those three words, Spanish naming, N-A-M-I-N-G, customs, C-U-S-T-O-M-S. And you will have a summary of how the Spanish-speaking world deals with names, in particular surnames. We're looking at last names, surnames here. All right, so let me condense this. In the Spanish-speaking world, everyone has two surnames. That might be an eye-opener for you. In English-speaking world, what's your surname? What's your last name? Spanish-speaking world, what are your two surnames? So how does it work? You're going to have a last name or surname from your mother's side, and that's called the apellido materno. You're going to have a surname or last name from your father's side called the apellido paterno. So there's rule number one. You got your two last names or surnames. The first of your two surnames is going to come from the father's side of the family, and the second of your two surnames will come from the mother's side of the family. So if we take Roman, for example, full name, Roman Antonio Martín Canabes. So his two surnames are Martín Canabes. Now, his surname from mother's side will come after surname from father's side. So Martín is coming from his father's line, and Canabes comes from his mother's. Let's look at Ofelia's name, Ofelia Medina Hernandez. This is as reported by Mail Online. Ofelia Medina Hernandez. So in Ofelia's name, Medina, first of her surnames, comes from the father's side, and Hernandez comes from the mother's side. Now, obviously, if you're following this, they're going to share, if they share the same mother and father, those same last names. Ofelia's going to be Martín Canabes, or Roman's going to be Medina Hernandez. If they only share one mother or one father, they're half brother and sister, they're still going to share one of those names. So let's say Roman and Ofelia have the same father, but not the same mother, then Roman would still have Martín in his name, but Ofelia would have Martín in her name. So just by the names, they cannot be brother and sister. At the end, I'll tell you how they could still be brother and sister, but by the names, they are not brother and sister, not by the names. Okay. Point number three, married women in the Spanish-speaking world don't change their names. So all of you that have already launched into writing, yeah, but if Ofelia got married, she's not Ofelia Medina. The lady doesn't, traditionally, the lady does not change her name once married. That's an important point. Point number four, you do get Spanish speakers that adapt, if you like, to the English-speaking world, and they end up choosing one of those surnames to be their surname. So in Wikipedia, the example they give, I'll use the same example. Penelope Cruz. What is she? Actress, singer, what have you? Yeah, Penelope Cruz. Penelope Cruz. Well, actually, you look up her name. Her name is Penelope Cruz Sanchez. So she's got the two surnames. Cruz comes from the father's line, Sanchez from the mother's line. So there we go. She's opted in the English-speaking world just to go by Penelope Cruz, but it's only one of her surnames, and usually they choose the apellido paterno, that last name from the father's line. Makes perfect sense. There is one other little complication I'm going to throw out there. There are some people, I'll call it the Latino world, because it tends to be more Brazilians rather than Spanish speakers that do this, but some people just ditch their whole name and they go with one simple single name. You've got to bear that in mind. That is possible. If Ofelia is going around telling the whole world she's Ofelia, she could have some completely different name that doesn't even include Ofelia. That does happen too. The person I'm going to mention is a Brazilian. Like I say, it's usually the Brazilians that love doing this. If I told you, if I asked you, who is Edson Arantes do Nascimento? Edson Arantes do Nascimento. 99% of you would say, I've never heard that name, no idea who that is. I'm telling you, it's someone very, very, very famous. Turns out Edson Arantes do Nascimento is Pele, possibly the world's greatest footballer. So Pele decided, Edson Arantes do Nascimento, too much of a mouthful, I'll go with Pele. Good idea. And sometimes they just choose one of their names, probably a Christian name, first name, and just disregard the whole rest of it. Now, my example of this is another footballer from Brazil called Socrates, or Socrates. Full name, get ready for this. Socrates Brasileiro Sampaio de Souza Vieira de Oliveira. No one is going to go through their whole life when asked full name, Socrates Brasileiro Sampaio de Souza Vieira de Oliveira. No. So Socrates just said, my name is Socrates, end of story. Pele just chose a whole different name, Pele. So is it possible that Ofelia is really called, I don't know, Juanita da 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 da? She goes through life as Juanita, and then one day she says, screw it, I want to be called Ofelia. I had an imaginary friend called Ofelia with an F, and I am going to be Ofelia. Yeah, she might have done the whole Pele or the Socrates thing. I don't know. I don't know. So, could Ofelia have made up her name? If Mail Online come knocking on Ophelia's door and they say, full name? Hands up everyone in the audience that thinks Ofelia is the type of person that would just make up a name. Yeah, everyone's raising their hand. Like an election in North Korea, who votes for our glorious leader? Everyone raised their hand. Yeah, Ofelia is that type of person. Sure, she might just give out any name. If Mail Online came knocking at my door, I might just throw out any name. All right, happy? Go away. Could she have changed her name legally? Yeah, you can. I think you can do that in any country. If you really want to go through the hassle of saying, I want a whole new legal name, I think you can do that. Is Ofelia that type of person? I don't know, possibly. There's one other little thing that bothers me slightly with this Roman and Ofelia brother and sister. There's an age gap there, surely. I'm not good at judging ages, I've got to be honest with you. To me, Roman looks middle-aged. He's not that old. I mean, if he's at the NRG, he can't be that old, surely. Ofelia, I didn't see her at the festival. I think she's old. So, I don't know. You tell me what the age difference is. I'm thinking maybe 20 years? Roman 40s, Ofelia 60s. Brother and sister with a 20-year age difference. Possible, but again, it points towards the whole Mail Online got it wrong when they said brother and sister to me. Okay, let's leave Ofelia there. I don't think Roman and Ofelia are brother and sister, and I'm not even sure Ofelia is really Ofelia. I don't know, but something's up with the names there. I think Roman is what he says he is. You can't go through life being the mayor of a small town and all this and your name be completely wrong. So I think Roman really is Roman Antonio Martin Canabes. I think that's his name. Ofelia, something tells me it's not quite right. Okay, Getting back to Ofelia and who Alva is. Some of you have been telling me that Alva is Ophelia's twin sister. Now there's a scary thought. There's two of them, and that complicates everything. If Ofelia has a twin sister, then which one is running the cafe and hiding a corpse under all the frozen pizzas, and which one is saying, I saw that boy walk up the hill? I don't want to go down the whole road of twin sister. That is way too complicated. Some of you saying Alva is Ophelia's daughter. I feel very sorry for Ophelia's daughter, if she is the daughter of Ofelia, because it looks like she's got all the dirty work. She's dumping the corpse in the freezer and covering it up with frozen pizzas, and she's the cleaner after she has to clean up after Ayub. No. We don't want to go there. If there is a daughter, that's fine, but I feel sorry for her. It doesn't change my narrative, actually. If there's a daughter, that kind of adds, if you like, that kind of adds to this wordplay that's going on. You know, thanks to your cleaner, who happens to be your niece, Roman. I don't know. That's a little bit creepy, and there's still a word game going on there. So whether Alba really exists or not, I'm sticking with there's a double meaning to Alba the person and Alba the cleaning product. Shout out to one of my commenters, Callum111-S6J. Why? Because he wrote something that's very interesting. I just got that today. He said he had seen on, I think, TikTok. I don't do TikTok or Instagram, so if you have something from TikTok and Instagram, assume I've never seen it. Callum said he had seen something on, I think, TikTok, which has been taken down. It was there briefly and now it's gone. Callum swears that what he saw was Ayub and some woman that was allegedly on substances. That's how it appeared to Callum. Anyway, Callum says he swears he heard this woman that seemed to be under the influence say, you know, to Ayub, you know there is no such woman as Alba. I don't know if Callum has got that right. That is fascinating. I think we're all thinking along the same lines. This Alba thing, it doesn't ring true. Whatever the truth is, what we're getting or what we got initially doesn't seem right. And the last comment for this one is back to Mark Williams Thomas. I missed something right at the very end. What I missed at the very end was Mark Williams Thomas is now saying he's got this new project where he is going to some very, very, very dangerous country to track down and possibly arrest someone that no one else can do. Interpol or their agents cannot go to this very dangerous country and do what Mark Williams Thomas is about to do. Only he can do it. That's what I got from his message. Now I'm curious. Where do you think is this very dangerous country? What comes to mind? Syria? Haiti? Colombia? Papua New Guinea? All right, just for a bit of fun, I think we should do a sweepstakes here. Every single one of us will pledge to throw in €5, £5, $5, and whoever gets it right gets the whole pot of money. Which dangerous country is Mark Williams Thomas heading off to? I've thrown out a few possibilities. Think carefully, which one do you fancy, and write it in the comments. Syria, Russia, Haiti, Papua New Guinea, Colombia. Here we go. I'm throwing in my €5 and saying Mark Williams Thomas is going to the very dangerous country of Wales. Wales, just to get a reaction to see if all the Welsh people are going to send me hate mail. Wales. I think he's off to Wales. You tell me which dangerous countries Mark Williams Thomas is going. If you get it right, you get a pot full of money from all the commenters on this channel. I've got a lot more to get through this weekend, a lot more on Jay Slater. Remember, I'm late to the party, so I'm 3 months late to the party. Got a lot to say. I'll try to do a bit more this weekend when I get the time. And I think that's it for now. Okay. Hasta luego, hasta la vista, y hasta la próxima.